Well, that's way before. I've been an MMA fan since day one.
Okay.
That's how it started. Sports were always played in my house. ESPN Sports Center. I got 3 older brothers. Was 24/7 at my house. So I've just always liked MMA and boxing and things like that. So I enjoyed it as a fan, and I'd still say I'm still a big fan.
So you still avidly watch?
Yes, most definitely. I think it's the most entertaining sport in the world. I think we were all in denial about it before, just because it's quote unquote barbaric, whatever.
Right.
But once you get to know it, then you realize it is the opposite of that. It is so skilled and focused, and so on and so forth.
Just hangovers hitting me in waves.
What did you do last night?
We went to Inter Miami game.
Okay.
Hell yeah, we beat the shit out of Montreal. Oh, I think we tied the one before. Did we win the one before?
We never win.
Oh yes, you're right.
Inter Miami, ladies and gentlemen, guys, you gotta get it together. Cause man, I know we got a budget of what, 75 million or something like that. We got David Beckham, we got Higuain, we got everybody in the motherfucking his house, but we can't win a damn game. Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? You know what I'm talking about? Ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? It's your motherfucking boy, Gamero, the Pharaoh, the poor man's Robert De Niro. You know what I'm talking about? Bald version, as Emi loves to remind me on the daily. How you doing?
Hell yeah.
You know,
That's
it's
what
another.
friends are for.
Oh, that is what friends are for. Appreciate that, brother. You know what I'm saying? It's another beautiful Sunday afternoon or Thursday at midnight for you beautiful listeners tuning in onto the YouTube more than anything. Because, yeah, you got Spotify, you got Apple Podcasts, you got all that good stuff. But more than anything, ladies and gentlemen, you got to check out the YouTube. Because that's how you get to see everybody's beautiful grins. You know what I'm saying? You get to see the outfits on point. Kicks on point, you know what I'm talking about? You know, the whole shebang, you know what I'm saying? Gang shit. And speaking of gang shit, you know what I'm talking about? Ladies and gentlemen, to my right-hand side, you know what I'm talking about? There's a man. The man's doing fashion today. You know, the man's wearing 100% cotton. It's a V-neck. The man's showing off the lack of chest hair. Ladies and gentlemen, to my right-hand side, we got Emi in the his house. Awesome. What's going on, Emi?
I'm glad I started this with the hangovers kicking a little bit. You went full clip.
Full clip.
Awesome, bro. Awesome. Inter Miami game, we won. I think Higuain made both goals. I don't remember. We drank a little bit. And then we did some extracurricular activities after.
Amen. You know what I'm saying? Got to support
I've
local.
signed NDAs though. I can't tell you that.
That's beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, behind the scenes, you know what I'm talking about? There's a man, a cameraman extraordinaire. The man's wearing a Beatles shirt. You know, the man knows fashion. You know what I'm saying? The man knows good music taste. You know what I'm talking about? Ladies and gentlemen, behind the cameras, we got cameraman extraordinaire, Cruz in the his house. What's going on, Cruz?
Chilling
like a villain.
Yep.
That's beautiful.
Your brother's got this fashion kick right now, dude.
I
Everything
do.
is fashion right now.
So I've been taking a master class by Tam France of Queer Eye fame, and I will say it's been changing my life. I'm learning about textiles, textures. I'm learning about proportions, things I've never learned before, and it's beautiful. All right, I appreciate your V-neck. Ladies and gentlemen, how do I even introduce the guests that we have before us? You know what I'm talking about? I am so very honored to be able to introduce the person that we have before us. The person that we have before us is a guest with many talents. Someone that I've had the privilege of knowing for quite some time. Someone that I've had the privilege of watching perform multiple times. And God, does she kick ass? You know what I'm talking about? Ladies and gentlemen, it is my absolute honor to be able to introduce fighter/nurse, Cristina Sarah Brador! AKA Kingbraids, AKA Braids in his house. What's going on, Christy? First of all, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Talk to us. You know, you see the shirt on deck. You know, you got to give a quick shout out to the main man himself, the Colombian warrior. Can we please give it up? You know what I'm talking about? The man put on a display last night of colossal proportions.
Yeah.
Talk to us a little bit about what it was like to walk watch someone that you,
it's the worst.
You know, that you constantly train with, someone that that has been in your corner. Talk to us about that experience last night.
It's more than someone that's been in my corner. It is my corner. Right? So what Danny has done for me and helped me achieve in the last 2-3 years is a whole nother story, which I'm sure we can get into. But last night, for those of you that weren't able to tune in, he unfortunately got 2 eye pokes.
Bro.
Survived, still decided to fight, and then got a kick in the groin.
Yeah.
So that tells you more than enough about that fight. So it wasn't pretty.
Yeah.
But he's coming home, you know, in one piece.
A goddamn warrior too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And you said it best yourself. He decided to continue to fight.
More
Man,
than once.
Bro,
More than once.
And anybody else in that game would have, you know, let's call it a day. Let's go for that DQ. You know.
I was on the other. I fight in the game, and I'm on the other side. Like, call it.
Call it. I was like, Herdine, what are you doing?
You're
He's out
good,
here. He's out here.
Come home.
Yeah,
You're good.
He's asking for water like it's a favor and shit. It's ridiculous.
And when he was finally done, it took him like 3 minutes. I don't wish an eye poke on anybody, but if you've experienced it, you know, it's terrible.
It sucks.
It's absolutely terrible. So the fact that it took him only about 3 minutes to get up, blink his eyes, and clap his hands and say, let's go, that shows something. So, you know, no such thing as bad publicity, right?
Amen.
So everybody's talking about it. We wish him a speedy recovery. And we'll see him in the cage soon. Simple as that.
Yes, that's most definitely it. You know, what are your 2 cents on injuries post-fight? Talk to us about your experiences with healing or having to recover from injuries after a fight.
Well, regardless if you're when you go into camp and then you have a fight, you need to plan for recovery after, whether you come out unscathed or not. Because of the tension that your body goes through camp, right? So it escalates, and then ends in a damn fight, for lack of better words. So immediately after, you should plan therapy. So whether you got the black eye or the broken hand, you should prepare that the next week you should take it slow. Make sure that you're eating really well. That's huge. Nutrition is huge in this game, because our body is everything. But yeah, I mean, you should be planning for therapy no matter what. That's part of this process. So it's not about a question. It's simply that's the pattern that you should be following. You know, you should be going to massages. You should be going to hot and cold therapies. You should be doing different things. That's part of your training. So it's not really an add-on. It should be involved regardless.
Braid, you mentioned nutrition. Talk to us. Are you, are you yearly, in and out, eating healthy, or are you kind of just, you buckle down during camp? Do you have a general diet that you follow, or is it kind of like willy-nilly until it's grind time? Looks for the seal of approval.
Well, it's hard for me not to be pretty honest. I eat garbage.
Gang shit.
I eat pretty bad. Since I've met my lovely fiance who's here.
Big shout out. We got a beautiful audience today. You know what I'm talking? Can we please give it up for our audience today? God, you know what I'm saying? I love when we have an audience at Midnight in Miami. You know what I'm talking about? If you want to come through, be an audience member, bro, as long as you're not a creep, we'll make it happen. Gang. Gang. But talk to us. So you are not shamed in being honest. You gotta love that. Yeah. At what point, how far before a fight?
So camp is camp. So camp is work, right? So when I decided to become a fighter, I made a quick switch. You're either in or you're out. I think that's the mistake that a lot of people make, particularly in this sport. But I think across the board for decisions, you know what I mean? You can't be 1 foot here, 1 foot there. You're either in or you're out. So right away, I made the decision that when I have to be professional, I have to be professional. That's how I was raised. So during camp, we're locked down, but out of camp, I'm not gonna lie, I eat how I eat. It is what it is. But if you don't make weight, that's on you. And let me say that again: if you don't make weight, that's on you.
Ooh,
all right.
That's a mini.
So it is what it is.
I think Danny would agree with you.
I'm not gonna be disrespectful in the sense that I'm a nurse, and if you didn't do the right things up until there, and then your weight cut is bad, and you have to stop. Right. So that I'm not saying.
Right, but it's still on you, right? Because you
didn't take the steps
with
the appropriate
but that
time.
doesn't make it okay for them to put yourself in danger. Right. Okay,
so
take that L and you move on.
Right, so you also don't approve of the people that are walking
Killing
zombies
themselves.
about to...
Yeah. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
What are some of the health scares that come along with that?
Kidney issues, which can lead to organ issues, which can lead to so many other things that are unnecessary and should not be even in the world of a 20, 30-year-old, like diagnosis-wise or worry-wise or anything like that. But I would say with fighters, really, we're acutely damaging our kidneys several times a year.
Because of these
hands
cuts.
hands down. Yeah, it's not about if or maybe or if I do it right or no. What you're doing is you're preparing your kidney to tolerate damage. That's what it is.
Wow.
You know, so it is a science. So I do think that some have some give themselves an advantage edge by educating themselves and researching on how to manipulate the body to an extent, right? Through food, through water, through nutrition, through balance, micro, macro. But yeah, I think that it's a dangerous thing and people need not play with it.
Do you think that your background in medicine has given you an upper hand on this preparation?
That's a question I get a lot. And I don't know. Yes, okay. But I wouldn't say that it's that's giving me the advantage. I would say that it's my background as being an athlete my whole life. Because I didn't start fighting until only about 2.5, 3 years ago. But I've done sports my whole life, and sports at a point where we're very competitive. You know, in high school as a senior, I went to a state championship for basketball. So I was always competing at a higher level. So dedication was always involved. So I would say that actually is what's really helped me propel myself in MMA for right now.
Yeah, you're coming into this disciplined.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
there we go. Yeah.
Where does that work ethic come from? Because even though you have an athletic background, you know, there's people that have done, you know, middle school sports, high school sports, college sports, whatever the case, but your ability to put on the blinders, it's very peculiar and it's very strong. Where does that work ethic come from?
I'd like to say how I was raised, but that's kind of harsh, right? I'm not here to say other people, oh, because you weren't raised a certain way.
All right.
I think she has someone in mind when she said that.
But yeah, I'd say my mother and my father, just the way that they raised me. But you gotta like it. I like the dedication. That's really what it is.
You enjoy the hard work.
Yes, I enjoy the hard work. Now, in other aspects, I don't enjoy the hard work. So
Elaborate.
you know, if I wasn't doing sports, right? So I had to work really hard at school, right? So I'm very blessed that my parents put me in a position always to make sure that I had a good education and extra help because I just wasn't really that great at school, right? So that extra help helped me get into college, helped me become a nurse, and then kind of stabilize my life, right? But do I like work? Hell no. Okay? No, don't lie.
Right.
I do not, and I like my job. Okay, so I'm blessed enough to tell you right now that I like my job. I like going to work. But do I like working? No. Okay, I don't want to be there. I don't really want to be there.
facts.
Okay, I want to get paid.
Hell yeah.
That's what I want to do. I want to get paid.
You can say that again.
Okay,
Shit.
so 2-3 years ago, I realized that I'm okay with working hard in certain avenues. So why not run them? Why not run them? So that's what I'm doing right now.
What led you to the path of nursing? Correct me if I'm wrong. Nursing came first before fighting. Talk to me about that path.
So I went to FIU. Shout out.
Shout out FIU. You know what I'm saying? We out
Golden
here.
Panthers.
Okay.
I am a
Okay.
Panther through and through.
Gang.
Graduated in 2014 with my first degree, Health Service Administration, and had no idea what to do. I left school and said, what now?
Right.
Had no real skills, maybe an internship or two, and realized that the type of jobs that I was going to be applying for or getting accepted into, that's not what I wanted to do. So I made a very quick turnaround, applied for nursing school, and the next semester was in nursing school. So it was more of a decision of, I think I need a skill set. I think that's what's going to be best for me. And also I do have a background with wanting to be in the medical field, but wasn't really sure about it. At the age of 15, I did my first missionary trip to the Dominican Republic with Belen Jesuit. So we go over there, we do a medical trip. So I've been on 3 of those, and that kind of inspired me. Give me an inside look on how helping people can affect others, because I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I went into the nursing profession because I'm a hero. I can't stand that. I can't stand that.
No.
I know that's harsh, but I think, Melo can relate when I say that I'm very uncomfortable when people, oh, the healthcare heroes.
Oh,
Super uncomfortable. Like, don't make us out to be martyrs. It's true. It's just a job. It's just a job, and I can do it, and I do it well.
Right.
I'm good at empathizing and just being there for people, because I don't know. I feel like I just can relate to them, right? So, and it's a certain set of skills and a certain set of science, and you learn it, you practice it, you become good at it, and that's where you're at.
Were those missionary trips rewarding?
Yes, and that is a great thing to point out, simply because I think that's what also led me to nursing, that I felt like, okay, and why I feel uncomfortable with being called like, oh, healthcare hero. I'm getting in return a lot.
Right.
From what I'm doing, right? So like for, let's say 75% of the day, or 85, 95% of the day, it sucks so bad. I'm doing the worst things.
I can only imagine.
Yeah. People are mean. I mean, I work with kids. I do work with adults now because of COVID as well.
Mean.
It's insane. They're helping you out, and you're gonna be mean.
But
like,
I think some of it has to do with you're
projecting.
very uncomfortable, right? You don't know how to mentally handle what's going on, so you're
a baby right now.
So you just attack the first person that comes in front of you.
That's exactly what happens.
Yeah.
Bring it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Give me all you got.
Which honestly, when you're saying this hero thing, that's what makes me think like that's why you guys are freaking heroes. Because I would be like, you know what, bro? I'm gonna break your other fucking.
I'm the opposite. Give me all you got. You can't make me leave this room.
Yeah.
I'm gonna help you, and you're gonna accept it.
Yeah.
That's how, bro. Man, I forgot.
God, that's beautiful right there.
Man. That's how she treated me though.
I'm gonna help you, and you're gonna accept
She's
it.
like, I don't give a fuck. Let's go, dude. Let's dance.
Yeah. Like what?
I was
Bad people do bad things. They throw poop at people. They do horrible things.
That's not what I'm defending. I'm not defending shit throwing. I'm defending, sassiness.
And I'm not defending that. I'm just saying, you're in the most fun. Yeah.
Bro, I would listen. Every single one of your
fun with feces.
No. That's beautiful.
Feces,
every single one of my patients, I would go into the room and just put your fights in their TV and be like, "Watch this." You know what I'm saying?
Toss some shit
for
my
context.
Way. Toss some shit my way.
Golly,
Good Lord,
that's absolutely insane. How? I guess if you could give a percentage of how many people
throwers there are?
No, I guess how many people are good-hearted, kind people that are grateful compared to the feces throwers.
Feces, bro.
Most.
Like at you though, like projectiling at you guys specifically,
yes,
or just
that's
like
a very
fuck it, I'm
specific.
throwing it at the
No,
wall.
that's a very specific story.
That's reflexes
I brought
right
it up
there.
very yes, it's
You
very
dodged though,
specific.
right?
Yeah,
You dodged.
very specific story. So we'll put that one aside.
Bro,
I would say that pretty much everybody, even the ones that are the worst, they come back. They come back. People are good people. People are good
people.
Don't. If there's one thing that you take away from this podcast that I believe is that people are good. It is.
Yeah.
I know that people can be bad. That's not.
Yes,
but
we're assholes too.
it is natural for us to be good people, and I genuinely believe it because I've seen it in the worst of places, in the worst of moments. People are good people. So I think that in the end, it's always worth to be there for them.
Kingbraids, talk to me about the stark contrast between helping and aiding in the saving of lives, and B, aiding and helping in the dismantling of them.
Yes. Different, but not that different.
Job security is what I'm thinking. Job
Yeah.
security.
And I'm going for it.
Shit's going a little light in the ICU today. I gotta go break somebody's fucking face. Hell yeah.
I mean, you have a specific question about it? You know what I mean?
I mean, how do you get yourself in that mind frame, or how do you get yourself out of the mind frame of helping to, I see red?
Because I'm not trying to see red when I fight. I'm trying to be skilled. I'm trying to put you to sleep and wake you up and say, good job. On to the next one. I'm out there.
It's a frightening sentence to hear.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, I'm truly trying to do something that you asked me 5 years ago and I would have laughed at you. I'm trying to be a professional athlete. I'm trying to go to the top. And I should have been doing this a long time ago. So
talk to me about the Christy from 5 years ago. Why would she have laughed at your face? She's like, I'm not mic'd up.
That's the third time I've looked over.
That was 2006.
Not even. Yeah. Why would she laugh? Maybe she wouldn't laugh. Maybe that's rough. But she would say, "It's done. It's done. You had your athletic years. You know, you had your athletic years, and you decided not to stay dedicated to one specific thing, and you move on." And I just, yeah, I hit I don't know. I hit a pinnacle point. I hit, a midlife crisis almost.
All right. Right.
You know,
Yeah, or a quarter life
which
crisis.
was quarter life crisis, which was catalyst obviously by a lot of stuff, but yeah, I do think that she would scoff, but then maybe sit down and say why not? Why not?
What was the determining factor for you? At what point did things change? When did MMA come into the picture?
When did MMA come into the picture?
Yeah.
Well, that's way before. I've been an MMA fan since day one.
Okay.
That's how it started. Sports were always played in my house. ESPN Sports Center. I got 3 older brothers. Was 24/7 at my house. So I've just always liked MMA and boxing and things like that. So I enjoyed it as a fan, and I'd still say I'm still a big fan.
So you still avidly watch?
Yes, most definitely. I think it's the most entertaining sport in the world. I think we were all in denial about it before, just because it's quote unquote barbaric, whatever.
Right.
But once you get to know it, then you realize it is the opposite of that. It
Right.
is so skilled and focused, and so on and so forth. But I lost track of what we were talking about.
No worries. Is it difficult for you to tune out? And it's kind of like a two-parter question. Is it difficult for you to tune out the outside noise during fight week? One of the, shout out UFC fighter Danny Chavez. He always talks about how, when it comes down to it, the week before, the week of, he's not really trying to talk to family. He's not really trying to, talk to this person and that person and oh, you got a problem with me? All right, we'll deal, with it after the fight, whatever the case, because I need to focus. Talk to me, 2 weeks out, 1 week out. Is it hard for you to put on the blinders like that?
No, not at all. Especially because I'm at a disadvantage, right? I wish I started my career at a younger age, but I'm at an advantage because I'm set with my crew. I'm set with my family. They understand me. I've been an athlete and in sports for some time. They know, and I'm not gonna answer you. So I got a few people that I talked to during camp, and then the last week I pretty much just read maybe a text message. Other than those two right next to us,
right.
I got probably 2 other people. My other best friend, I got a high school best friend, Tara. Shout out Tara, I love you.
Shout out Tara.
And then my college best friend, Flanny P in the back here.
Shout out.
And then I got my fiance and my guy best friend. And that's about the only people that I'll even, other than my coach,
right?
Obviously.
Right.
I don't talk to nobody, though, especially cut week. Cut week's the worst. Get out of my face.
Right. Bro, that's like tech week in theater, bro. It's a rough week, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, don't, I'm not going to say don't come at me and ask me for tickets, because what I'm going to do is I have help.
Of course.
Right? So, like I said, I'm fully in. I'm fully in. So, for example, Melody will help me sell the tickets or whatnot. So I'm not saying I'm not going to answer you, but I'm going to tell her.
Right. You have people that are
exactly. Things. Right now, working for free.
Yeah.
So
hell yeah. Gotta do it.
Yeah.
Gotta do it.
But no, putting on the blinders, which I think goes back to I've been in these positions before, where the lights are on, the pressure's on, or it's about to be. How are you going to behave? Right. So that's really where you see who's going to move on and who's not.
And kind of on the same branch of topic, do people close to you being there at the event, does that affect you at all? Does that give you more motivation? Does it give you pressure? Does it do anything?
I mean, yeah, it makes anybody nervous, but I can't, I feel like I'd be lying if you're not kind of searching for that, right?
Of course.
So does it make, would I like it kind of this COVID vibe of MMA, right? Where no one's really there, but everybody's watching.
Yeah.
I kind of enjoy that idea, right? Like Combat Global,
right.
They have just an arena with no fan. Well, not really an arena, but like, a very good looking MMA stage, and they got a full production, but nobody's there, right? So it feels like a production, so you get nervous, but there's nobody there, everybody's watching at home. So I would like that probably on the regular.
Hell yeah.
But at the same time, I mean, we're all there for the noise, right? So I've been trying my best. At first, I was like, well, I'm not going to invite anybody. Right? I'm not going to tell anybody that I'm fighting.
Right.
They don't get it. Because that's what happened with my first MMA fight. Other than my closest friends, my family, too, was like, bizarre. Why is she doing this? You know, she's going through something like her, you know.
So you thought it was a phase.
Oh, yeah. Like her, you know, I know we'll get into it, but her mother just passed away. She is going through something, you know. I guess she wants to get hit in the face. Go ahead, right? Once the fight happened, that's when everyone understood. I mean, my life changed once that fight happened. Now my life changed when my life became easier. Yeah. People could finally understand why in the world would someone with a full career, I mean, my life was rolling. Right. I don't live at home. I'm independent. I have a girlfriend. We lived in New York. You know, everything was going a la plan. Right. So everything got changed around. Everyone's kind of like, okay, all right. And then I fight, and then they get it. And it's just one of those things that you have to see to understand, you know? But my real crew, they didn't have to see to believe. They knew what was up, so. Yeah.
Beautiful. Christy, talk to me about the comparison of your very first day going into nursing as an actual nurse, your first day at work, and the moment that the ref said, all right, we're fighting, you know, the moment you got into the octagon. Talk to me about those two contrasts.
I'm going to base it off the first day that I was a nurse on my own.
Okay.
Right, because we train for...
Right, of course. Yeah. And that's where you,
Yeah, so I've started my career at Nicholas Children's, which used to be Miami Children's when I was there. Fantastic hospital. Wish it was still called Miami Children's. Super nerve-wracking. I was lucky enough to get a job in the ICU right away because they were opening a new building and they needed staff, simple as that. So they reached out to some colleges that were letting out some students. And so if you need to hire 60, it's going to be impossible to hire 60 veteran nurses. Just impossible.
Right.
You know, too expensive as well because veteran nurses don't play. You know, I'm somewhere in the middle now. I know my worth.
Okay, hell yeah.
So you know, if you need 60 new staff members for a building, you gotta give a chance to some graduates, right? So lucky enough, a couple friends.
And that's that overnight shift.
Yes, you better believe it. I started a night shift for 2 years.
For 2 years.
God.
Yeah, and I still do it. Do it. Now, on and off now. I'm like midway, so I do one night, one day.
But that was doing Victoria's Secret at 4 a.m. You know what I'm saying? Gang.
Yeah, very comparable lines of work.
I mean, the time alone, 4 a.m. So talk to us.
So first day off of training, it's just so nerve-wracking because you realize you're responsible. You are, I don't want to say you're alone because that's definitely something that nurses, you're never alone. Right? In this profession, it is your job to ask questions. It is your job to go get help. Just like it's your job to help your patient. It's your job to like make sure that you're giving the right medicine. Double check. Right. Just on the regular, double check. You know, things like that. So all that weight is on your shoulders. So I would say that starting off as a nurse, especially the first months on your own, is way worse than getting into the cage. Way, way worse.
Oh, wow.
Because the minute that you're in the cage for the first time and it closes and it starts, you did it. That's it. You did it. What happens from then on, I'm not going to act like it's not important, like it doesn't matter. But there's only 2 people in that cage for a reason because everyone else is fucking lazy.
Yep.
Everyone else is watching with a beer in their hand.
Yep.
Right?
Yes, I am.
And good for you.
I wish I was there.
Good for you, but guess who gets on that cage?
For real.
Me.
Hell yeah.
You're looking up, baby.
Hell yeah.
Right?
Gang shit.
That's beautiful.
Okay, so whoever's in that cage, and that's why I'm always respectful to my opponents. God bless them. You know.
Even if they don't make weight?
I haven't gotten there yet.
and if it did, would you still hold a certain respect or no?
Respect always. Well, I want to fight you right then and there, probably.
Right.
Because I've only had 3 weight cuts now. And I've hated every single one of them. And I would say I'm doing pretty right. You're doing pretty right, whatever that means, right? Because like I said, you're still causing damage. But yeah, I've spoken about this before with some of my friends. Like, man, I don't really get people that like try people too hard on weigh-ins. What? you're about to fight, and then ruin it. So then, someone gets hurt or you get disqualified or whatever it may be. And so you don't fight the next day. That means you didn't want to fight. So that makes me angry.
You're looking for a cop out.
Yes. So
right,
someone
that's
who's
a good
trying to
point.
cop out after I did this training camp, that's going to piss me off.
Oh, yeah.
But if you show up and you game, all the respect. Because you did what I did. And I know it's hard. It's that simple.
So there's a different weight because as a nurse, you have the responsibility of many people behind you. Whereas when you're fighting, do you feel that the responsibility is merely just yourself?
Yeah. Yeah, if there's something that Danny's taught me, it's on you. It's not going to go chasing you to train. But if you show up every day, you get to join. Right? Because there's so many people that won't. There's so many people and good for you. Don't. Because it's hard. It's hard. But if you're going to do something, do it fully. That's like the life position that I'm sitting in right now. Don't half-ass things. And it's so easy for me to sound like I'm judging, but I'm just kind of living through that right now where I really want to do something different and it's just okay. But don't be wishy-washy about it. Give yourself a real chance. I guess that's what I mean. What I mean is respect yourself enough that you're going to give yourself a full chance. So later on, you're like, I tried.
Bro, and I can attest to her work ethic because, man, I've been in the class and, all right, let's take a water break. She's out here doing abs. She's doing crunches while everybody's getting water. And I'm like, Bray, are you making me look bad? You know what I'm saying?
One sec real quick, because this is a different man sitting next to us, if we're being honest.
Let's not do this.
All right. I won't embarrass you too much, but all right, we got a skinny boy in the house.
Appreciate that. We out here a lot, 80 pounds, like it's a night out in London, you know what I'm saying,
Crazy.
gang?
That's crazy.
But I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, every single week, you know what I'm talking about? We have three different segments. And the first one is actually called Mail Time. You know what I'm talking about? And in this beautiful segment, I ask here a question from you. Because every Saturday or Sunday, you can go on our social media, preferably Instagram, and you'll see a story with, boom, a sticker of questions. And you can ask our guest the questions yourself. So see, these are the questions that you yourself have submitted. And here we go. All right. All right, Chrissy, the first question of Mail Time. What's the craziest nursing story you have?
I'll keep it very generic because it's not forget HIPAA, baby.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
So yeah, I'm not even gonna give story time. I'm just gonna say,
The poop throwing thing was pretty crazy.
No,
That was pretty I can't believe we're not starting
Yeah, that's
there.
pretty
no,
intense.
we're not.
That's
It's
pretty
not my
intense.
story to tell, so I'm not.
Respect.
One of my patients once thought we were in a WWE match.
What?
What?
Yeah, and got the first lick on me than anybody else has ever gotten on me.
Wait, were they hallucinating? What's going on?
Yeah, it's a real story.
What?
Yeah.
Like a mental break or something.
Whoa.
I'm trying in my brain to rattle how just very generic.
Right. Of course.
This individual, I work with in the pediatric world. This is the main background, but I also work with adults now.
Okay.
So I'm not gonna say if it's an adult or a kid.
Okay.
But this individual was, let's say, poisoned.
Okay.
So they were not in the right mind.
They weren't sober.
And no. I'm not saying they drank alcohol. Though.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
It could be anything.
So they were very, very ill because of this. So we're in the hospital and we're actively trying to save this individual. So this individual is coming in and out of consciousness. So yeah, in one of the moments, this person was able to develop enough strength while I'm hovering over them to do something to whack the F
Oh my
out of me
God.
so strongly that I fell backwards because I'm obviously I'm not expecting to get hammered by one of
Right.
my patients,
Oh
even
my-
if they're combative, which to an extent she was. Oh, damn.
Don't matter.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
they're okay, and it was way worth it. But I took an L on that one.
God.
It was pretty funny. I had to take a lap after. I really did, because everybody in the room knows my background. And not that anything would have ever. No, God, no. God, no.
But she knows she got her chin on her, though. For real, for real.
But it's one of those things like, did that really just happen? Like, am I okay?
Oh, my God.
Oh, and I'm sure that's circulated throughout the hospital.
Oh, yes.
instantaneously.
Everybody was talking about it. They couldn't stop laughing.
Oh, my God.
If I were on the other side, I would have died laughing.
Oh, that's a hilarious story.
It's a hilarious story, especially because we had quite a few of us in the room. The individual was getting more and more combative, so we were about to prepare to restrain them. And so there were like 5 of us in the room, and boom.
Oh, no.
You know?
Well, they were definitely out of it, because in WWE, they don't really make contact. You know what I'm saying? So they definitely were out of it.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's rule number 1.
The thing is, like, it happened, and then afterward, the patient was like,
Oh,
was like-
shit. They didn't even get to revel in the victory.
Oh, no. Wow.
playing possum. You know?
Yeah, that's insane.
Anyways, they're okay, and I'm very happy, and we're cool.
Oh my God. Try that chin.
Yeah.
Christy, second question of our mail time segment. In what ways are nursing and MMA similar?
Well, I would say the specific type of nursing that I have been involved in, ICU, you have a higher rate of obviously being in a code. So I would compare being in the cage to like being in a code where you practice your protocol as much as you can, and you have it somewhat memorized, right? And at that point, you just go into sync. You just go into play mode, and this is what you're supposed to do now. You know, ABC to have success. And there's high stimulation in a code when someone is essentially dying, and you got to do compressions, medicine, whatever interventions that are necessary. But you got to work as a team, which is different, obviously, from MMA. But there's no screaming. There's no seeing red, right? You don't have time for that. And if you mess up, it's the highest stakes, right? Because MMA seems like the highest stakes, but it's not, right? A code is. So I'm taking that experience and bringing that to the cage, along with my experience from being, in competitive situations before. But I would say that high stimulation and staying calm and being able to think, really. That's something I didn't realize before. Now Dan used to talk to me about it, but I didn't really get it. Now I understand in MMA, you need to be able to be in the cage and think and talk to yourself and see what they're throwing and answer back. You're not just throwing hands. You really are playing chess, human chess.
Yes, definitely.
Jiu-jitsu is definitely the human chess of the body, but striking can be as well. So I would say that those two things, they have a lot in common. They're just doing something different.
Okay. Yeah. And ladies and gentlemen, the last question from our mail time segment. What do your coworkers/patients say when they find out about your MMA career?
Oh, I tend not to tell my patients.
Okay.
So that's not something I really do. So I don't really have an answer for that. But my coworkers not that long ago found out because of the news piece. So
Okay.
prior to, they did not know.
And you see it on the screen.
Does that cause an issue at work?
No, it's done. I'd say the opposite. Just because luckily they kind of knew me as well. So it's just like an added piece to the puzzle. I think they always kind of assumed I was some type of athlete and stuff. Just cause. So I don't think it's caused any of this. I think it's given me opportunity to get to know my coworkers a lot more, which is nice, especially because I'm working as a per diem nurse now, which essentially means I'm on call all the time. So, which is nice, right? Because I can make my schedule any way I want, but it doesn't mean that I'm guaranteed hours, which is the sacrifice I'm now making for fighting. So I'm not a full-time nurse anymore. I want the hours as a full-time nurse, but I also need to be able to take off a whole week or 3 weeks for camp like that.
Right.
Actually, that was what I was going to ask you. Is especially you're saying that 1 week, that cut week, don't talk to me. So you take the camp, you take the cut week, and then maybe a week after the fight.
Pretty much. Yeah, the week after the fight, by Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm back in the unit.
Right.
Especially now that having a black eye would not be that odd. Where before it was something that I genuinely hid.
Right.
Just because pediatric nurse and fighter didn't really mesh. And like, I didn't walk into the unit like, hey, this is,
Right.
you know.
Right.
Got to use that Ben 9 makeup, boy.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's thick. That's theater makeup. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? It'll survive the lighting. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for those beautiful questions. You know what I'm saying? Every Saturday or Sunday, go onto the Instagram, boom, submit those questions. Brador, I do want to know, you had mentioned how Danny had told you to really be there, be in the moment, and think during your fight. Was it difficult to do that during your first fight? Was it, and correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of people say once that bell rings, it's over in a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
Was it like that for you or no?
No, my first fight took forever. Oh my God. Yeah, that was the longest. Well, not 15 minutes because it's only 369.
Right.
Technically, amateur is 3 minutes only for per round. But my first fight felt like forever. I was definitely not thinking that much. It was just pure adrenaline. That was so opposite my second fight. I mean, clear as day.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, my conditioning was better. Just everything about it was so much better. So I assume that it's just going to go from there. I do think from my first fight to my second fight, although only 4 to 5 months, I developed astronomically because of having the fight, just the experience. Because I had a kickboxing fight, but it wasn't really the same.
Right.
So
it allows you to hone your preparedness, right? You
yes,
know what to
my
aim
camp was
at
so
now.
much better. My camp just made more sense, or I was
Right.
mentally preparing for it. To prepare for something that you've never experienced is difficult.
Right.
You know, because I had never experienced an MMA fight, and you've done a kickboxing, you've done jiu-jitsu, it's not the same. It's just not the same. I've even done boxing. I was boxing, I've done boxing matches, whatever. So, yeah, it was just first to second fight, big difference. But yeah, I was very blind. I was blind the first fight, completely blind.
What about second to third fight?
Second fight, my second MMA, so third fight overall. I was clear as day. My conditioning was awesome. I probably could have gone another fight. But maybe that has a little bit to do with two opponents. I don't know.
Right.
I try to just think about me and focus on me. I don't really worry about the rest of the stuff.
Is it difficult for you to find that fine line of really training hard and training too much, overdoing it?
Absolutely. I wouldn't say it's super difficult for me to know, but I could see how it might be for many. That's huge, and particularly in MMA.
Right.
Because with basketball, you can probably ball 7 days a week no matter what.
Right.
You know what I mean? And yeah, you gotta do some therapies and ice and stuff, or soccer and so on and so forth. But MMA, any day of the week. I mean, I got like 3 huge bruises right now on my right leg from training just a day ago.
Right.
And I'm not trying to be like, these bruises are so intense. But at the beginning of when I was doing MMA, that would put me out for 2 days. I mean, no, I'm not going to go to the gym. My leg hurts.
Right.
Or now, there's no question. It's just
part of it.
It's just
Yeah.
part of
Right.
it.
You work around it?
Yeah, I just work around it. And I hope it happens to an extent. I actually got thinner shin guards for practice now because I want to train my shins. Because sooner or later, I'm going to go pro.
Right.
Right? So I don't get shin guards in. Right? So how am I benefiting myself to protect myself against the end goal? Right?
Right.
So I just feel like sometimes people don't really, what is your end goal? Are you
Right.
really trying to achieve that? Or are you actually kind of achieving something else? Right? So everything for me right now is the end goal, and that's to be a professional athlete. Whether, obviously it's going to be MMA.
Hell yeah.
But that's the dream right there. And from then on, everything's just an add-on. So I can't wait because it's just going to be fun.
Oh, hell yeah.
But for me, the day that someone writes a check with my name for playing sports,
Oof.
Hell
you
yeah,
didn't
that's
even know.
awesome.
That's goosebumps.
You didn't even know. I got goosebumps right now. I can't wait.
Ooh.
I can't wait because I know it's going to happen.
Hell yeah.
Right?
So you said
I'm-
you started fighting 2.5, 3 years ago, right? So your first fight was before the pandemic.
Yeah. So,
Right.
I mean, so I was pretty nervous to come on the podcast because I think it's kind of hard for me to not talk about my mom without talking about my journey.
Please do.
For fighting. So I was living in New York. I graduated in 2016. I met Melo. Lucky enough that she moved. I met her. She was living in New York, so she moved back down to Miami. Excuse me. to be with me because I needed to start my career. Nicholas Children's ICU job. You don't say no to that.
Of course.
So we moved into Miami Beach and we spent about almost 2 years there. And March 2018, it's Miami Music Week, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is like probably like my 4th or 5th, 6th. I don't know. I love Miami Music Week.
Dang.
And I'm sitting outside of SLS Hyde, waiting to get brought in by Tiny G, baby, the real plug. Shout out.
Shout out. Big shout out.
That's my girl. And I get a call from my dad, right? And it's like a Saturday afternoon, so he's probably just calling to catch up. So I'm like, click, not right now. You know?
Oh yeah, I'm game phase right
Yeah,
now.
yeah. I'm
Music.
sitting by the truck of like the audio stuff, just waiting to get in for free, right? So like, take your time,
Right.
Tanya. I get it, and then he gets another call. I'm like, that's a little weird. And then I get a text. Mom's in the hospital, heart attack. I book it, right? I just tell a friend right next to me. My other girls were like on the other side. I lived about 5 blocks down, full makeup, and probably kicks on, but shortcitos, and just book it back home, get in the car, go to the hospital. So my mom had a heart attack, 2018 March. Athlete, my mother, marathon runner. She did a half marathon 2 weeks before that.
Wow.
Yeah. So just bad genetics, bad luck, right? So that's March. April, end of April, I'm moving to New York. We had just decided we were going back. I told her if she comes to Miami for me, we're gonna go back to New York. I need to get 2 years, and then I can become a travel nurse, and we'll go wherever we want. That's exactly what we did, right? So mom has a heart attack in March. April, I move. Mid-May, my mom is back in the hospital. She was taking blood thinners for the stents that she had from her heart attack, and she was bleeding a little bit. So she went to the hospital. They thought it was a little odd. Long story short, we find a tumor that was bleeding. The antiplatelet caused it to bleed around, right? So it was a tumor we didn't know that she had. So it was stage 3 in the colon. So we decide, okay, the doctor says margins aren't that bad. We're just gonna remove it, right? So now heart attack in March, move in May, June, she removes the cancer. So I'm like, okay, doctor says no cancer. We'll just do chemo. We're only gonna do chemo because that's kind of just protocol, but like we removed all the cancer. So for me, I'm like, okay, I just changed my whole life. I moved to New York, and now my best friend, essentially my mother, is super sick. I should come home, right? That's the idea. And then we remove the cancer. We're really hopeful. Seems like everything's okay. Her numbers are great. Her tumor markers are down. We're going to do chemo. So I said, okay, me and Mello make a deal. I'm going to come down every month for chemo. So for the next year, that's what I did. She had chemo twice a month, 12 rounds. And I was in Miami once a month for the next year. So next year, March 2019, same exact week. I'm down in Miami, of course, for Miami Music Week. She was working up in New York at the boxing, so she used to work at Hyde, and now she's gonna work the week at Hyde. So again, I'm on the way to drop her off at work. I'm like half dressed, glitter on already, ready, to hang out.
Hell yeah.
And I get a call. My mom didn't really tell me she had gone to the hospital. Same thing, having some bleeding, a little odd. Had some scans, cancer's back, everywhere, right? So. Now it's been a year. I've been in New York for about a year, and I'd say that like I never really turned back after that. I never really went back. I went back to move the apartment, but that week I quit my job. So I was working as a travel nurse, but that week I had gotten a permanent job somewhere I was working in New York, which I was really excited about. But calling them back, telling them I couldn't get the job, and within a week I moved back to Miami. And very lucky that I'm with someone that supported me fully. And she said, doesn't matter, yeah, whatever you want to do. And she quit her job again for me and came back home. And we didn't just come back home. We moved in with my parents, right? So 2 grown adults now moving back home for the first time since, for her, like 20. For me, quite a few years, or, not that many, about 2, 3. Been together for what, a year and a half? And now she's living with my mom and my dad. And we're doing so because I've quit my job, and now my only goal in life is to cure my mom.
Right.
Or trying to, right? So we had appointments every week. I mean, I was so busy with her, just trying to do whatever we can. So the next year, that's pretty much the next year. We moved back down. I quit my job, come down to Miami, become her personal nurse. I end up getting another job just because I can't not make money.
Right.
Of course.
About a year goes by. Actually, am I getting this right? Huh? Yeah, I'm trying not to get emotional. I apologize.
No, there's nothing to apologize for.
I had to go through. I feel like I've had a bit of a therapy session before coming here, just because I had to face some stuff that I haven't talked about or looked at in like 2 years, right?
Of course.
Because I knew the question of like, what got you into fighting was going to be asked, and I didn't know that I didn't know how to answer it yet.
Okay.
Or I've tried to answer it a bunch of different ways before. But I think that I realized that the only way I could answer it was by explaining the story, right? So when I moved back to Miami, right, my mom gets the second diagnosis again, March 2019 now. Moved back to Miami, and in June, I joined Fight Club. Oh, oops, sorry. I joined Fight Club. It happens to be the building right next to where Mello has a job.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So she said, hey, I saw a gym there. Looks like they have some boxing. And I said, psh, cardio boxing, who cares about that? Right? She said, come on, Chrissy, it's like $39 a month. Just walk in. I denied her for like 2 weeks. And finally I walked in and someone's giving a jiu-jitsu class. And I'm thinking to myself, a jiu-jitsu class for $40? You know, because Danny was just doing that class.
Yeah.
I didn't know at the moment, but I thought, wow, these jiu-jitsu gyms are almost $200, $150 a month.
He was doing it out of the passion, bro.
Yeah, he was just doing it because he wanted to.
Yeah.
And that's where it all started. And I joined that gym, and from then it's history. I mean, that's June 2019. You know, I started to get to know you guys, did some competitions and stuff, and, you know, may she rest in peace. But February 3rd, 2020, my mom passed away about 3 weeks before COVID. So it was hard, man. It was hard because your family's all together, and then they're ripped apart. So it's no one's fault, you know. It's no one's fault that we were taken from each other. I know it was the right thing to do, but a lot of people have gone through a lot in 2020, and it's not just because directly COVID. I mean, it put its dirty hands on everything. I would say a few months after that, I joined MMA Masters, and the rest is history.
Well,
that's where you guys met.
We met at Fight Club, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and then afterwards when it closed down, because it closed down for a year, that's when most people transitioned to MMA Masters.
Mm-hmm.
And then they moved to a new location, all that jazz. First of all, thank you for sharing that story with us. And I mean, so that's really the root of the motivation that got you to go into the octagon?
Yeah, I mean, watching my mother go through what she went through, and being there, you know, you hear people say, you know, oh, you get a different perspective on life and things like that, but forget perspective. Just everything was scratched for me. I mean, my whole life looked a certain way, and it's because it involved her.
Of course.
I mean, I'm still angry for my children because she was such a wonderful woman. That I'm mad for them that they can't meet her, you know. But what I realized was like, oh my God, so much matters. It's not like, oh, people say, oh, you go through something and then you realize nothing matters. No, it's the opposite for me. Some things really matter, so why not do them? You know, I realized that like I want to live life as like a life, not work as a life. And
Right.
I'm close to it with my profession. So it's kind of raised to like aim towards that, right? But I'm not really there fully. And I just realized like I don't want to go back to the hospital every day. You know, or to a desk. I just don't. I never have. What the hell am I doing?
Right.
I should have been doing this a long time ago. You know, what am I waiting for? Because, goddamn, let me tell you something. My mom is the strongest woman. She was brave enough to go into hospice, and that's hard. As a nurse, I know. And as a family member now, I realize, because you hear that and you say, no, please no. Because it sounds like you're giving up, but she was doing the opposite. She gained time with her family because of it. So I want to live the rest of my life like that. I want to constantly gain time with my family and my friends and myself. And you can't do that if you live your life working. So I'm just trying to attain that through sports. That's what I'm trying to do, because I don't feel like I'm working with sports, with MMA. So yeah.
Thank you. That's deep. That's profound, and I think that's inspirational for us all.
Yeah, absolutely.
To be able to find solace in something so difficult. I do want to ask our audience members, if you don't mind, from an outsider's perspective, how is it? How do you find a way to be able to support something so? From the outsider's perspective, someone would be like, they're putting themselves in danger. How are you able to deal with the fact that it makes her tremendously happy, and with the worry of someone getting hurt?
Yeah.
Either or.
I think I've thought about this before, and it's hard because we're older. I'm 29, so I think that it is a crazy idea to get behind. It's almost like, I hate to compare it, but it's like, oh, you want to be an actor? Gosh.
Absolutely.
But as I get older, I also realize things like, I wish I had a passion. Like, I wish I was really passionate about something. And I don't think that happens to everybody, this passion, So if someone does have it, and if I had it, I'd want them to support me. Because I think I'm jealous of it. Like, I wish I had something like that. So how do I tell someone, like, oh, not only do you have passion towards it, but, like, you're, like, good? Like, you're athletically able to do it? Like, I think it makes it so much easier to say, yeah, like, give it your best shot. Because I would want you to do it for me.
I feel like
She's done everything to put me in a position to do it 100%.
Okay.
She's helped me.
Do we have a different answer? What do we?
Friends.
Yeah, I mean, Melo's the real MVP, because for me, like, there's nothing more fun than, like, watching your best friend, like, destroy someone else.
Bro.
I totally relate to that.
Bro, I was at Dave and Buster's last night cursing up a storm. There's little kids and shit. It was a bad scene.
So it brings me, like, so much joy to see Brador living out her dream. And then, like, I'm a all my life sports fan too, and so's my husband. So imagine, we're going somewhere, we're gonna crush some beers. Brador is gonna, like, just crush
Light somebody
up.
Hell
So
yeah.
we just have so much joy watching her, like, live out her joy. But, like, ultimately, like, the hard stuff, like, Melo's the real MVP because, we're there for the beer crushing and, the excitement, the adrenaline.
We're here to be entertained.
But Melo sees the day-to-day bruises on my legs,
Every day.
sore. Luckily there hasn't been, something that sends her to the hospital, but that's part of the journey as well. So, it's just different perspectives, but it's so much fun being in her corner.
Are you ever, like, closing your eyes and kind of, like,
she doesn't
peeking?
watch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we have full video that I can
you
send.
don't
She doesn't watch.
Okay, I was gonna ask because that's rough.
Yeah, no. When she makes it to the UFC, I will be very nice in my hotel room.
She can't wait. She can't wait to not have to be there.
Oh, I bet. The best part is when it's over.
My father can't come in person, which he has my whole life comes to all my sports stuff. So he's watching.
He's streaming or something.
He's streaming.
Right.
Yeah, he cannot physically tolerate. He's tried, but he just like emotionally cannot physically tolerate. And I can relate. This is that one sport that, for example, watching Danny, I've become a little used to it.
Even last night.
But you're so uncomfortable. You get to that point where your brain starts survival. What are you doing? Why are you doing this? Because that happens sometimes. You go into the cage like, oh no, you start doubting like, why did you do that? And if you let that person start talking, está jodido.
Está jodido.
Está jodido.
Wow. Brador, you had mentioned being an actual fan of the sport. Talk to us about some of the fighters that you looked up to growing up. Some of the fighters that you're like, I gotta catch that. Give me, some top 3, some top 5s, whatever the case.
So I say my favorite fighter. There's a mix, right? Because I think they constantly interchange.
Right.
But Artem, the Russian Hammer, is.
And he just retired. Shout out, big shout out.
I mean, any fight, doesn't matter if he took it out. I love watching him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's as entertaining as it gets, especially because obviously everybody knows he's Conor McGregor's one of his most known training partners and close friend. He's kind of got that swaggy waviness.
Right.
He's the hammer. He stays right in your face, barely moves his head, and just smashes,
Yeah.
So he's always been one of my favorites. Right now, the strawweight division for UFC is stacked.
Oh my
Top
God.
15. I'd watch any. I mean, I watch
Straight up.
any of them, but I mean, even people coming off the contender. There's this Brazilian, I think, Paola Costa or something like that. That, I mean, she's a young girl about to, she had one fight in UFC now and she's starting her way. But it's the way she moves, right? The beauty of how she moves and fights and so well-rounded is like, man, I want to watch that. I want to watch that.
Yeah. And speaking of Contender Series, big shout out Miguel Baeza, a.k.a. Caramel Thunder. You know what I'm talking about? Coming out of the Contender Series. A nomination. It has to be a nomination for Fight of the Year with an absolute banger with Poncinibio. So close. Yeah. Continue. Any other fighters?
I mean, it's hard not to say Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
That's
the OG.
He is like, I can't, it's one of those individuals that you just watch. You just do.
It's like it's like a car crash. You can't not.
You cannot look.
You cannot look. Yeah.
But at the same time, Habib is one of my favorite fighters too. I my ground and pound, specifically how I try to take down opponents and lock them with my legs. I try to embody what he does, or I'm in the process of trying to learn to embody what he does. But that's the thing about this sport. I want to watch all the fighters, all of them, even if I don't know their name, because if there's one thing I can take and just mirror it, you just constantly get better.
Right.
I mean, easy, Whaley, so far. I know that she, lost to Rose.
Yeah.
I love Rose as well.
Crazy knockout.
Mackenzie Dern, watch her any day.
Yep.
I could go on. Honestly, I can go on. Top fight, I'd say still to me in the last, 2 years? This wasn't in the last year. Israel Adesanya and Gaslam.
Oh.
I think that didn't get enough. I didn't think that didn't get enough love.
Yeah.
That was the hardest fight I think I potentially have ever seen, other than Whaley versus
Joanna. Yeah.
Versus Joanna, which won Fight of the Year.
It did.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure one fight.
And also Dustin Gaethje was a banger. Absolute banger.
Yeah, another banger was Hooker versus the Diamond.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes. Absolute bangers. Ladies and gentlemen, every single week, you know what I'm talking about? We have 3. I said 3 segments. You know what I'm talking about? And the second one is actually the movie review of the week. You know what I'm talking about? And in this here segment, we ask everybody, not only our guests, but our illustrious audience as well, for a movie, a TV show, any sort of recommendation that, let's say you got a gang of 10,000 people in front of us. You know what I'm talking about? And they have 2 hours. What are you going to submit? Cruz is also going to, have us a beautiful recommendation. You got 2,000 people. You can only recommend them a movie, a TV show, something that's 5 out of 5 stars. What would it be?
Something from the Harry Potter series. Easy.
Damn! Banger! Emi's not as well cultured as we are.
It's
you know
a
what I'm
shame.
saying? It's a damn shame.
It's a shame.
Talk to us. What's your favorite Harry Potter?
Goblet of Fire.
Banger! How do you not?
Which one is that one?
Oh,
also, hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. There seems
can
to
leave.
be. There seems to be he's not approving.
Who?
What's yours?
Which? Yeah.
Prisoner of Azkaban.
Okay, that's a great one.
That's a good one.
The Goblet of Fire is the one with
It's
Twilight.
Yes.
right? That's
with,
that one.
Oh,
That's the
yeah,
sporting
yeah,
event,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Exactly.
That was pretty
Essentially,
cool.
it's
Yeah.
the
That
was
most
pretty cool.
competitive one because
Yeah.
they're
That
in
was
high
pretty
school,
cool.
Right.
And they go to town on a competition.
Right.
So you're having a good time watching
Yeah, that
them.
was
You
pretty
know,
good.
Shout out to Jaira Cunningham. Her favorite was Twilight.
Twilight.
She's so
Her favorite saga was Twilight?
Twilight. She
All
came
right,
out
all
with
right,
Twilight
all right.
out here.
Which one was 3?
Prisoner of Azkaban, and that's when they first started kind of like taking a darker.
No, that's the uncle,
tone.
right?
Oh, after Goblet of Fire, it's super dark.
Yeah, who directed? Oh my God, it was a Hispanic
look at me,
director.
bro.
Whatever, great. You'll see it on the screen. How many stars would you give it out of 5 stars? Goblet of Fire.
5 out of 5.
Ooh, you gotta love it. You
That's my
gotta love
favorite
it.
movie. It's my favorite movie of like
Damn.
almost of all time.
Oh.
The series I watch on repeat whenever I need to emotionally.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like a
What's the
blanket.
new,
Yeah.
like, Harry
Danny was
Potter
watching
thing?
Hot Ones before his fight. You know what I'm saying? Hot Ones on YouTube where they
Oh,
eat hot
hell
sauce.
yeah.
That was his pre-fight ritual. I love
That
that,
show
shit.
is hilarious, bro.
Emmy,
Yeah.
what's a suggestion? You know what I'm saying? A movie recommendation that we get for the people.
Yeah, go for it. I gotta think about it. I didn't know it were coming my way.
You guys heard of the Matrix?
Have I heard of The Matrix?
Like the Neo movie?
He just
Yeah, I just watched the trilogy for the first time.
he just started
like a
it,
few
so.
days ago, and man,
Oh,
For
man.
real, bro?
so
Yeah.
good.
You're a little late on it, but
so
banger.
good.
I'm a little late, yeah.
Dude, so good. The
don't
second
know.
one's the best. First one's super strong. Third one's the weakest, but still really good.
Yeah, I was not a fan of the third one. I was not a
So
fan of the
good.
third one.
Let's head to our audience before we get to our Emmy. What is a movie that you guys would recommend, you know what I'm saying, for the masses of people? Something that maybe you've seen recently. It doesn't even have to be a movie. It could be a TV show. Something ideally 5 out of 5 stars. What do you guys got for the people?
Only 5 out of 5.
I recently finished the HBO series Mayor of Easttown. Oh,
Mayor of, you said Mayor of Easttown?
Mayor of
Okay, a mirror. Okay, got you.
And it was
Excellent.
Yes?
excellent, yes.
Okay, 5 out of 5?
Oh yeah. Easy.
I would say, yeah. 5
HBO
out of 5.
usually makes
It
bangers.
keeps you
Yes.
right on the edge of your seat.
And it's a movie or TV show?
Series.
Oh, series.
And
Okay.
It's a thriller, like
Yeah,
murder mystery kind of a thing.
Yeah.
suspenseful.
All right.
It's good. It's good. Not too slow. And
What's that other one that they have? The cop ones. McConaughey's in the first one.
I know.
Oh, it's like
True Detective.
Something
Is it
like
kind
that.
of like that vibe where?
I never saw True Detective. So
I
Great
was,
show.
Isn't here anti Harry Potter?
oh,
I don't know about anti Harry Potter, but definitely the hype to me it went over me. I don't know.
Let me ask: did you watch it when you were younger or when you were
So
older?
I watched the first one. The first one was with the giant chess pieces, right?
yeah.
Yeah, that one was awesome. But then I rewatched it again recently. and I
but
was
when
like,
did you
"Ah."
watch it?
When I was a kid, when it came
When
out.
you were a kid,
yeah,
okay,
when it
okay,
came out.
okay.
But I remember loving that movie.
I would dress up and
And
everything.
then
Yeah, you have to give that cloak to it.
Oh, yeah.
The fact that
yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
the
like
graphics.
the age,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
The age that it came out, I mean, top tier for when
Right.
it came out. But then I rewatched it again recently, and I was like, man, this is like to me, it's a kids movie, right? Like
I
that-
mean,
well, that's a fair argument.
I mean,
because it started as a kid's
they
book.
definitely grew up.
yeah.
That's how I
Which
feel.
is
Because
cool.
he's my age, so I grew up with him.
Very
with the
true.
books, with the so that's
But
why I
then,
think I have
don't
to.
know. When did that come out? 2006, maybe 2005,
The first one?
2001.
I feel like the first one was 2001, right?
Dude, I honestly wouldn't be able to tell you.
Around there,
What the
yeah.
fuck, bro?
And the book, the book probably 99.
Mm-hmm.
But we do have one last. We have one last movie suggestion from the audience, or a TV show, anything, whatever it may be. What do we have for the people?
Movies, Star Wars.
Gang
Banger.
shit.
Recently started Star Wars for the first time. You know what I'm saying? I know. For the first time, I'm on the third one. I did 7, 8, 9.
Okay.
What do
No.
you mean you did 7, 8, 9?
Right?
There's
No, I did. No,
way.
I did.
Yeah.
Four. I
Oh,
did.
there's many ways to
sorry,
start
sorry.
the
I did.
saga.
No.
There's
I did.
many ways to start the
I did.
saga.
I
Did you
did.
start 7, 8? I would
I did
never
release order. I'm
recommend
sorry, I
that.
fucked up. I did release
4, 5,
order. I did
6.
4, 5, 6, 1, 2,
2,
3.
3.
I just finished.
That's the way you should do it.
The third one. Yeah, I just finished the third one. I'm being told before I go into 7, 8, 9 to do the series because they kind of
Yeah.
like tie in everything.
Absolutely.
But it wasn't the release order. But I think I
The
might do
series is fucking awesome.
it. Okay. The
Have you-
Mandalorian, the
I was gonna say, have you
Rogue
watched
One.
Mandalorian?
I
The
haven't.
best.
See, it's good?
So good.
You're missing out.
So
Oh
good.
yeah.
You know
No, I'm
what
about
else
to
is
start
good?
it.
Loki on.
I heard
Disney
we
Plus.
have a fan over
halfway
here.
into
We
it.
have a fan. Yeah,
Halfway
yeah,
into
yeah.
it.
I was watching Loki before my last fight.
Disney's doing
Dang. Okay.
Yeah.
God.
Disney's
Keep it
doing
chill.
it right.
Yeah, I agree.
Hell yeah.
I agree. They're finding a balance between like a little more edge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. That's beautiful. Thank you for those movie suggestions. You see those posters, you see those
yeah.
stars, all that good stuff. Please
What movie
check
did
them
you
out.
say again?
The Matrix. The Matrix. Come on, bang.
That's another one that I was like, whatever.
Oh,
guys.
dude, you got to do it. Got to do, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a good one.
No, I saw him. I'm not gonna
He's
do it
just
again.
not-
I
Oh,
just
okay,
wanted
got
to
you.
all
He's not gonna double down.
Yeah.
I can't even tell you how many times I've seen the entire. And if I start the series for Harry Potter, God
gotta
knows
run
I
the whole
have to.
You have to.
I have to.
I mean, the last ones were definitely my favorite. I'm gonna
Really?
say it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely my favorite.
You like dark
They were
shit.
because they were more. I mean, it just. I don't know. I get maybe because
I mean, they were more adult-like, that's for sure. There's murder
adult-like.
and yeah.
I mean, I like silly shit. Don't get me wrong. Like I
Okay.
love silly movies.
Okay.
I think that's probably what I prefer. Honestly, I don't want to get too enthralled in. Like those murder mystery shows, they give me anxiety.
Yeah.
If it's anything
Oh,
that's
for
too
real?
realistic,
Yeah.
I love
like
that
it
shit.
gives me anxiety.
It's fair.
I love that
Fair.
shit. I love that shit. Christy, talk to us. It's called MMA for a reason. Mixed martial arts. What's your relationship? Clearly, you have a phenomenal one with your stand-up game. What's your relationship like with jiu-jitsu, with wrestling, with different other aspects of the game? Talk to us about that.
We're dating.
Ooh, she said we're going steady.
Definitely. It's going well. It's going well. I mean, I'm getting better. That's it for sure. I'm much more comfortable now. I'll take a challenge now, type of thing. I feel much more comfortable with my jiu-jitsu and my wrestling than I was a year ago or 2 years ago. But it's something that I'm constantly trying to work on. So yeah, I mean, I take it as a full package.
Right.
I'm never working on only one, because that's a recipe for disaster.
Right.
I obviously came in with some striking skills from a little bit of a boxing background and so on, but really I kind of came with nothing, if we're being honest. So I was able to start like a young person would, like a 12-year-old would just start it all at once, at one
Right.
time. So it's kind of always just been mixed.
Right.
But yeah.
Talk to us about MMA Masters. How long have you been there? Talk to us about them, basically you being with MMA Masters for the amount of time that you have, and what your relationship with them has been like.
I've been with them since, May, June 2020.
Okay.
So right as soon as they opened after COVID.
Right.
Right. I've gone through like a lot of phases almost of relationship wise with MMA Masters, because first I was just a girl coming to exercise, and then I was someone that was like kind of allowed in the pro practice, and then I was someone that was part of the pro practice, and then I fought under their name, and I fought again under their name. So it's just constantly developing. I mean, I'm very lucky to have Danny on my side that kind of has helped me navigate this world, including the complication of coaches. Our gym has Sensei and Master, one of some of the best judo, jiu-jitsu, and striking capoeira instructors in the world, hands down. Just facts, right? But how many fighters are there?
Right.
So everyone hears, oh, you're on a protein, you're on a protein. I'm on a protein that's stacked.
Yeah.
And girls too.
Oh yeah.
So how do you find the balance between we're teammates, but we're not really on a team, but we are a team, right? And also, how do you become someone that the coaches actually, they're giving love to everyone, they're helping everyone, but for someone that's going to make it to the next level or is in the next level, they need a little more, right?
Right.
And the coaches can only be stretched so many ways, right? So they tend to go off a dedication policy, like who's the most dedicated will get some extra time or whatnot,
Which is fair, right?
which is fair. So that's why, to me, I just keep my head down and work, and it's worked out. So I'll probably never stop doing that, because for my whole life, that's been a good strategy. Keep your head down and work. 'Cause, when you pop up and you look back, there's probably no one behind you anyways.
Right.
So you're good.
What I want to know, what keeps you going? The days that you want to wake up and have a damn Harry Potter marathon in bed, with a little hot choco or whatever, what gets you
Money.
to beautiful?
I want to get paid. Don't you doubt it. I'm going to be the money show. That's what I'm going for. I don't know if I'm going to have a belt around. I'm going to have a belt.
That's facts.
I don't know if I'm going to have the Olympic style belt, right? I'm not saying it's not going to happen. Who knows? A few years ago, I couldn't even throw hands. And now it's been how long, and I knocked out 2 girls?
Hell yeah.
And again, just facts,
And you
right?
can see that on the screen too.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but what I do know is I'm going to be in the money show. You're going to want to see mine fight. You're going to buy a ticket. You're going to have your girl get in a good dress. You're going to pregame. He ain't gonna show up to my show. All right.
Gang shit. I'm
That's
excited.
beautiful.
Already,
I like
bro.
that though. I like that. I mean, like Christy said, you have to put on a good dress. So
Yeah.
there's that. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
can tell you can put on
Hey,
whatever you
I'm
want.
not
but-
gonna argue with her.
yeah,
so.
that's facts.
You can put on what you want, but my crew's gonna be looking good, so you might as well.
Hey, I like that. I like that. So that support, that rolling deep, you know, it really does make a difference for you.
Yeah, it has my whole life. You know, because I was braids to them and braider before. Actually, I was Kingbraids before all this. This has nothing to do with fighting. I think that's why I'm so comfortable in it. Right? That's the advantage. The disadvantage of I didn't start at 16 with the advantage of like I know who I am, and I was Kingbraids before this fight game. Now you guys just get to see it.
Where'd the nickname come from?
Cause I already got a queen. I mean, my braids is from high school. My basketball coach happened to be the dean for my 3 older brothers in an all boys school.
Oh, wow.
So we were all the braiders. You know, the private school world's kind of small, Catholic school. We all kind of know each other. So I was always a little braider as well. And one day we were just shooting for some free throws at practice, and he was like, "Braids, that's what it is. I'll call you Braids. I don't want to call you Braider no more." So everyone just call me Braids, B or Braider, whatever. And then sometime in college, I was like, I already got a queen. I don't need. I am the king.
Hey.
You know. So everyone's always trying to ask me that stupid question. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
If you know, you know.
Hell yeah.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. If not, don't hurt yourself.
My respect, because braids take a long time to do. I'll tell you that, bro.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, I
don't
wouldn't
know how to
know.
do braids. Do you know how to do braids? Fuck off.
I guess I won't be asking that question.
Yeah. It's fine. I'm not getting braids anytime soon, so we're good. You know what I'm saying? Ladies and gentlemen, you know what I'm talking about. Every single week, we have 3 segments. You know what I'm talking about. And the last one is actually the quest for the truth. You know what I'm talking about. And in this here beautiful segment, I ask a question, a random question from this here deck of cards. And everybody here in the studio, shout out our in-studio audience.
Do you have PTSD? What's
A
wrong?
little bit, yeah,
The
yeah.
deception that he
No, is that because
he preludes to
he
this.
says that it's not a random card, but the thing is
Look,
that
you see him shuffle
we've
into
done,
these things, reading
we've
them.
done like most of
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
So if
Pick one.
so if every week I'm like, so
Deception.
what's the best
I just
concert
don't
you've
like
been
that
to?
we lie
You know,
to
like-
our viewers and our guests. You know,
I've done nothing but be truthful on this
Yeah,
podcast.
bro.
Here's the thing.
shrouded in deception.
What would
That's how we start this.
Here's the
Maybe
thing.
one.
If I ask every single week, what's your favorite concert you've been to? It's not going to be a question of the week. I'll tell you
Favorite
that.
concert I've been to.
Okay, I
I
don't
feel like we did that question.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
All right, but I found a random one. Okay.
Paramore.
All right, here we go. And everybody's gonna answer, so I hope everybody's
Okay.
prepared.
Oh, Paramore.
What?
I haven't heard them in a while.
My mother. I'm
Shout out
sorry.
Paramore, please.
My mother took me
Oh, hell
to
yeah.
several concerts. My mom was the coolest woman on earth.
Damn.
Okay?
Live music is something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And she let me go to these concerts before I was even like in high school, as long as obviously she went, right?
Right.
But she fully accepted my like teen angst, right? Because this concert headlined in Paramore, but it had like Blink-182.
Oh,
it had,
dang,
you know, it had like
shit.
4 different, you know, super full out Fall Out Boy style bands, and I went to like 3 or 4 of them before I even hit high school, and all of them, my mom was in the background. Like,
Oh,
so
that's
yeah,
beautiful.
Shout out.
Shout out your mom. Also, big shout out my dad. We went to a Eminem concert and he mooned all of us. That's beautiful. Thank you.
Wait,
yeah,
your
yeah.
dad or Eminem?
No, Eminem mooned
Oh,
my dad
okay.
and I. So that was a
Kind of
unify-
hoping that he was gonna say your father mooned Eminem.
Oh, I wish. Ladies and gentlemen, Braider. And let me know if you. Cause
I got a little Gatorade for you.
got a raid. We got sponsors out here for real.
Gang
you know what I'm
shit.
saying? Boom. Peep
Oh,
the
actually, is
label.
Gatorade? Do they sponsor the Olympics?
Who is the official?
Power.
Oh wow.
Making moves.
Wow, that's big.
Yeah.
Making
Power
moves.
raid.
All right.
Wow.
Now, I will say though, the Olympics has like some.
Powerade. What? That's a plug, bro.
They got a mixture of advertisements and sponsors, so because each country, you know, might be New Balance versus Nike versus, so it's definitely like different than like where MMA is just, you know, UFC might just have these 3 sponsors, where the Olympics were like all over the place when it comes to sponsors.
Right.
I think it's just so many places airing so many athletes.
Yeah.
And just
Right.
everyone's like, it's just
Yeah.
load of stuff,
Damn,
you know.
bro. Powerade. You remember vitamin water? Shout out vitamin water.
That was.
It was 50 cents and it had 50 calories. I mean that
Beginning of it
symmetry.
all.
He was
beginning of
Sobe
it all.
water too, right?
Huh?
He
Yeah,
was
he
Sobe
did.
water too.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know about that. But here we go. Christy, what's a skill you learned when you were young that you still use today?
We've had this question.
I don't think so. We definitely haven't. We definitely haven't.
We gotta go through the archives now.
Definitely
To
haven't.
drive a boat.
To drive a boat.
My father taught me how to drive a boat at a very young age, and I'm very thankful.
Wow. Like a sail or
Oh no, not a sailboat. That's a whole different.
It's a
Yeah,
whole
that's
different.
crazy,
Yeah,
dude.
no, that's
Motor.
Motor. I mean, I can't even do that, bro. If we open water, it'd be a scene out of open water. If you
Oh no, I could do it in open
I respect
water.
the ocean.
I can't. I
I
can't
respect
park
the
it.
ocean.
You
though.
cannot. You
How are
cannot.
you on the park game?
Of a
Comfortable?
boat?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I can't fucking. That gives me panic attack.
Yeah.
Oh no. I'm gonna crash into everything. No.
Let's reach out to our lovely audience members. What's a skill you learned when you were young that you still use today?
Reading? I don't know.
That's a solid answer. That's
what I was gonna say.
That's a
That's
good
my
one.
fiance.
No one
That's
start there.
such.
That's my fiance.
That's my fiance.
That's my fiance. I
That's
swear,
my
I was about to say
fiance.
reading.
That's so good, though.
So underrated.
That's so good.
So good.
Such
Bro.
an underrated skill.
Thank
Right?
God.
Bro,
Thank God.
thank God. I'm hitting you with those multiplication tables.
Confirmed. Melody knows how to read.
We had our doubts.
That's a very good answer.
I was thinking like, I don't think I have any skills like
That you know what? I was
Skillless.
just sitting here staring at the ceiling like, what the
But
fuck did
now
I
she
learn
said
when I was a
reading
kid?
and, driving.
Yeah.
Driving,
Riding,
solid.
walking,
Okay, all right.
Walking,
Be
you
grateful.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Damn, talk about humility. You just
Bro.
brought it in, man.
Yeah.
Good Lord. I'm over here like I didn't
Small
know
things.
shit as a kid.
You're a
bro.
mean Mario Kart player, brother.
mean Mario Kart.
Are you really?
bro. Oh, hell
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Are you really
Mario
gonna go
Kart
for
player?
that?
Yeah, I am a Mario Kart player. So
Oh,
I mean,
shit.
I didn't say I was a mean one, but
Oh yeah, mean,
I can hang.
Mean. Oh yeah, I'm out there fighting with these Japanese dudes with the steering wheel. Oh
You have a earphone on?
No, because it's a kids game, and I'm trying to get like my little nephews are 8 and 6. Shout out Leo and Santi. I'm trying to get them into it, and I get really competitive. So I get really foul.
Yeah.
I speak kind of foul regularly, but
Yeah.
then when I'm really competitive,
Of course.
oh my gosh,
Yeah.
the anger really boils out of me. Like
Those
Juan
goddamn
with
6 and
FIFA.
8-year-olds.
And so I can't give them that, right? I need to give them the competitive spirit of needing. I really hate losing, and of course everyone loves winning, but I really hate losing. I think is where it comes from. So I'm trying to give them that without the fuck you.
Yeah.
You know?
Without the bitterness attached.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They'll get that on their own. I mean, it's inevitable, but don't get to that level. Like, it's really a detriment where I'm at.
Losing like a champ is a thing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, taking
Oh,
an L
yeah.
like a
I have the
a woman is a
sportsmanship,
thing.
right? You know, like I walk up and I'm like, oh, you won, respect, whatever. But as soon as I walk away, I'm like,
Yeah. You hit your brother in the face.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I do. I tie them up. I beat them up. Yeah. Shout out Anthony and Jonah.
Cruz, talk to us. What's a skill that you learned when you were young that you still use today?
My skills in Halo.
Oh my god!
out
Oh
of
my
town,
god!
bro.
Skills with
Come
Halo.
catch these hands, bro.
Bro.
That was the
Skills.
answer I gave last time too.
Oh my god!
You know what?
Let me
I
tell you,
remember
it's
this
a meaty-
actually. Yeah.
it's-
Skills, do the skills pay the bills?
Ooh!
Nah, because
That's a
Halo's
bar.
trash.
That's a bar.
okay.
That's a bar.
Nah, you know what? I can't go with Mario Kart because that was just God given. That's not something I had to learn. Probably sales with those world famous chocolates.
Oh my god! Yes. Oh, you don't remember the world famous chocolates? It was a white chocolate bar said "World's Finest."
remember
World's
seeing-
Finest.
Oh, the one that we
Underage.
sell? That,
Exactly.
School,
yes.
yes. World's
Highway
finest
robbery.
chocolate.
Talking about robbery earlier.
Oh,
that is
yes,
a
like-
national robbery.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. We were sneaking to the. Well, I'm not gonna say that. We were sneaking to the
statute
band room.
of limitations
Yeah,
is gone.
yeah.
This,
We
we
were
used to
sneaking- bro.
rob
Oh.
bro. Like
The band,
boxes.
the band room. Oh, it was filled, and then
Dude.
one day it wasn't. You know, I'll tell you
One day
that.
it wasn't.
Oh yeah, because at first they would try to sell you with the you got to sell this and you get like I don't know,
Yeah.
Bullshit.
a plush
Yeah, you get
toy or
bullshit.
some shit.
You sell
right?
500
Nothing.
bars, bro. It's child slavery,
Yeah.
bro.
So,
Like,
Stupidest thing
then we
ever.
got smart to it and we started stealing boxes, like legit, because they would
Yeah,
come. They would come boxes of 100, I think,
something like that.
But they would,
But like at
they
school?
would-
You guys were at
Yeah.
school?
At school,
Yeah.
so
Oh.
but they would send them in boxes of 5 of those
Yeah,
boxes.
yeah.
So we would steal the boxes, and I would walk around school selling
Just
them.
handing them out?
Yeah, 'cause
I would
no one
go
knows.
door knocking. I would be one of those, indentured
So this is a
servant
for-profit
children in
venture.
Publix.
Oh,
This is a
yeah, oh, Oh, dude,
yeah.
It was
all that shit was for
Although
me.
it is a
Bro.
for-profit venture in general.
It is.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It was-
Because I wanted that plush toy.
Yeah.
It was an LLC and everything, bro.
You know how many
Yeah.
abuelas and parents have just bought that full box?
Oh my
You know what I
God.
mean? It's just robbery.
Yeah, but at that point, I was selling stolen goods. So whenever my grandma was like, "You want? I'll buy you one," I was like, "No, don't worry, it's on the
Yeah.
house."
Abuela, I got it, abuela.
I'm skimming from the top, but it's all right. We're making our nut, you know.
Oh, well, not you. I'm going to charge you.
But then it did become an issue because we were moving so much product. Look at me, I sound like a freaking drug dealer. Right? We were moving so much, and my grandma was like, "Oh man, you're really selling the shit out of these." And I'm like, yeah, you can have as much as you want. Like I sometimes sell them for $2, so you know they cover.
It balances
so
out.
she had
100%
this
spike.
Oh, listen, and they'll do it.
Yeah.
Because
Desperate.
I would
They're
keep them.
desperate.
Honestly, I did.
Especially the
it became
caramel ones.
I've
Caramel
always been
ones were the
kinda-
best.
Bro, I became kind of crafty, so I would keep a couple boxes. So when the season is up,
The demand.
here
it
comes
goes up.
Emi.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I mean,
I'm the guy selling Chick-fil-A on
You should have been an
Sundays.
entrepreneur.
I'm the guy selling Chick-fil-A. Oh, that's actually kind of why I'm a little bit of an entrepreneur. But we had craps games in
Yo.
school.
Oh my
I used to
God.
sell Playboys.
Oh, yeah.
And
That was the whole thing,
I was
yeah.
a hustler. But my grandma would steal all of the caramels, bro. All of the
She
caramels.
knew what was
bro.
good. Yo, she
You
knew
know
what was
she
up.
did.
Yeah, yeah.
So, the only reason I found out is because I would walk in and be like, I want a caramel. I'm going to steal my own
right,
caramel.
Yeah.
And then I'd be like, what the fuck?
This belongs to me.
I got crunch. I got what was
plain.
it, almond.
Yeah, yeah.
I got
Oh.
plain. What the hell is my caramel? And then my grandma's hanging out in the corner, just like, because she doesn't eat sweets, right? She's like, oh, yo no como chocolates.
Yeah.
But she's in the corner like,
Downing it.
oh, is this yours?
Yeah.
Oh, is this?
God.
Shout
that's
out
beautiful.
grandma.
Shout out World's Finest Chocolate. You know what I'm
your
saying?
chocolates.
Bro, that was beautiful. You would sell 500 boxes, you get a plush toy or something.
Hell
you know what
yeah.
I'm saying? That's
Yeah, but this time you get $500.
yeah.
Shout out Edwards, bro.
That's how.
Shout out.
Because he couldn't hide shit.
Oh
man.
no, he couldn't. He couldn't.
He legit would just leave him there. Like you walk into his office and there's just thousands of dollars
But
of
he didn't,
chocolate.
he didn't expect to have
Oh, he did
Yeah.
though.
degenerates.
He
Oh,
did. He
but
knew we were. He used to
yeah,
chase me around.
that's for another
I mean, this poor guy. He was morbidly obese. He had crutches.
Yeah.
Right. And I was very
Abu
very
Saud.
short.
Oh, we were, yeah. It was bad. Oh yeah,
fuck.
we would hide in the like if the ceiling had tile. You know the ceilings that have tiles.
Yeah,
we would remove the
exactly.
tile and
Yeah.
just like hide up there.
It got really bad because I was very 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 short. I was the shortest kid in our middle
that's
school.
the truth.
In 8th grade, I was the shortest kid in the school.
I'm sorry.
And it was.
He hit the tremendo growth spurt.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
It made
Worked out.
me. It made me like be crafty in that because
Okay.
you have to.
Yeah,
right?
you don't have a choice.
So
He was
my
compact.
two best friends were the tallest kids in school, right? And I talk all the shit, and I'd stand right in the middle, like, "What's up? Bro? What's up?"
Yeah.
But we had these vents in the band room, and you couldn't really fit a normal sized human in there. But little Emi would go up there, climb in there, and just stack boxes. Oh man, it was terrible. And then when he would
You
chase
guys had
me,
a whole
I would
ring.
run
Oh,
in
yeah,
there.
yeah. It was a whole
Oh,
thing,
yeah, it was a
man.
cartel. It was a
Yeah,
chocolate
it
cartel
was a
for
cartel.
sure, bro.
God, that's beautiful. Christy,
Hell
before
yeah.
we start wrapping up, a couple last questions that I definitely want to get into. Just how we were reminiscing over our childhood crime endeavors.
Alleged.
Alleged. Talk to us about, when you were younger, was there fighting or MMA in any realm of capacity? Did you think about that at all? Because MMA is a rather young sport. Were you into boxing? Were you into anything of that?
No, not until college, or right at the end of high school. I played basketball pretty much my whole life.
Okay.
Very seriously. A mixture of other sports, mainly soccer. I mean, up until middle school, I played everything, right?
Hell yeah.
And then in high school, I went off to play just basketball. And then on off season, I played some other sports. But really, it was all about basketball. I mean, I was training twice a day at that age. Twice a day. It was all summer long. We were in tournaments all summer long, So it was very, very serious basketball. But what was your question again? Juan?
Because you said you did a little bit of boxing, right? Was that I'm assuming?
Oh, okay.
towards the
So
end of
sorry.
high
Yeah.
school,
So
college?
shout out Tropical Park Boxing because that's actually where I started.
Okay.
I had a friend from basketball. We had just graduated and we were bored, and a couple of our friends went off to UCF, and we were here down at FIU, and she was like, "Why don't you join me to work out at this gym, nice and cheap?" And it was again like not even probably $40, $50 for the gym. Shithole gym, didn't matter. Got a ring and a guy that knows how to catch pads. And that was it. And that's kind of where I started now. Was I even thinking about. No, I mean, I was just a fan of the sport, and I thought, oh, that sounds fun. And it was mainly boxing. It was boxing and working out. And I mean, since then, I recently had someone. Shout out! I apologize. I don't remember her name right now. I'm gonna regret this as soon as I go back to my DM. Not, but anyways, they asked me through a picture from my last fight from a knockout, and goes, "Hey, did you used to go to Tropical Boxing back in like whatever year?" I was like, "Yeah, I recognize your face." He goes, "Dude, I told you like 6 months into you being at that gym that you should start MMA. I'll never forget it." He's like, "I never forgot you either." And he DM'd me this, and he's like, "Well, at least you got to it eventually." It blew my mind. Blew my mind.
Wow.
Because I mean, I did that gym for like 2 years just for fun, and then like went on with college life.
Right.
Joined a sorority. Did a bunch of stuff in FIU. Had a lot of fun. Played intramural sports like crazy. Always doing sports.
Hell yeah.
But yeah. So and then I eventually moved to New York, and in New York I decided to join Anderson martial arts gym, which I didn't like very much. But like that was just a little dabble, and then by the time I came back to Miami, as I mentioned, that's really when I got into MMA. But yeah, I do have about a 2 year from like 18, 19, 20, where I was doing boxing just for fun, but it was like real boxing classes. So that's kind of a background. But yeah, that comment made me blew my mind.
Wow.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Man, the way you meet people and you think you're never going to see them again in
Never.
life, and then it's like,
And he remembered the conversation. I mean,
That's
why would
crazy.
he didn't have to say that? He didn't have to DM me and say that. And he was like, I remember this specific conversation. He's like, and good for you. You got to it. And then the best part about it was like, he just turned it positive. It was just like, good for you. You did it eventually. Look at that. You're good.
Wow.
And I was like, wow, thanks, man. And that's what I mean by I genuinely believe in people. I know people can be the worst, but at the same time, they constantly remind me how awesome they are.
Hell yeah.
So yeah.
Faith in humanity restored.
Yes.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Christy, give us a rundown of what a grocery list might look like for you during. Well, actually, give us non-fight camp and fight
God.
camp.
We'll go with fight for right now. Okay. Fight camp. I mean, I do meal. I don't meal prep. I purchase meal
You have a
prep.
service.
Right.
I really like Cater Fit.
Okay.
For both my camps, I've been using that, and it's I do paleo or meatless, and they're so delicious, and they calorie count for me.
Okay.
So I'm a little conscious in the sense that like I can pick a week ahead. And then I'll look, how much fat, how much calories, how much protein. Usually I like to be really, really high in protein. And then during the last 2 weeks of camp, then you start water loading. Still kind of high in protein, but then taking away salt and certain things. So the diet kind of changes. But what I would say is my main thing nutrition-wise for camp is organization. Right. Just making sure that you have your meal as soon as you're done with your workout, at lunch and at dinner. So yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Ladies and gentlemen, what an episode of colossal proportions we have had today. Can we please give it up for our illustrious guest today, Cristina Sarah Brador. Thank you, Christy. Thank you so much, for joining us. It was an absolute honor to be able to be joined by you, as well as our in-house audience. Can we please give it up for our in-house audience as well? You know what I'm saying?
Good looking group.
Yes, exactly. And you know what I'm saying? I didn't even let them know I was going to ask them questions. Boom. I like to be spontaneous. They're ready. You know what I'm saying? They're ready. Stay ready.
Yeah.
Cruz, thank you. You kept the cameras on. You know what I'm saying? Did that beautifully. Before we wrap up, the last question of the evening. Kingbraids, where do you see yourself in the next 5-10 years?
5 years? 5 years, I see myself in a major league, getting paid.
Okay.
And I hope to be one of the first athletes to get a big lifestyle brand sponsorship. So you don't see any MMA stars on Gatorade. You don't see any MMA stars on Victoria's Secret. You don't see any MMA stars on these real the top, right? And there's a reason, because like you said, we're still a baby sport,
right?
But we've made our way through, right? I mean, to think that we only got on ESPN like what?
Right.
Second ago.
Yeah.
Right.
Yesterday.
Yesterday. but none of our super top athletes are in one of these major names, like, for example, like LeBron James having a Nike shoe for year after year after year, right?
Right.
So not so much a specific brand, but I want to break that barrier where I think it has a little bit to do with maybe they haven't felt like MMA is a presentable sport.
There's a stigma.
There is a stigma. So I want to break that stigma. So I see myself in a major league. I'm not going to really name one specific because the truth of the matter is we all love UFC. There are other leagues that pay better and they produce better, and you know what I mean. So there's variety there.
Right, for sure.
So yeah, I see myself as a professional athlete in one of these major leagues, and hopefully breaking barriers when it comes to one of those big brands, which will lead me to getting paid, which will lead me to what I really want to do in life, which is develop some type of nonprofit that my best friend Tara Kanak would be in charge of. She does nonprofit work with organizations. She studied that. She's fluent in Swahili. She does the work with immigrants on the regular as her job, and she's also going to. She's getting a master's right now in Villanova for nonprofit organization work, and I want to have the opportunity. She's given me so much in life, so I want to have the opportunity to make some good money and help just make a good organization that's going to do good things. And I know that I have the right leader for it.
Hell yeah.
So I want to, that's like one of my biggest goals. But first things first, which is make it to the big leagues.
Yo, Louis Vuitton, you want some good PR? Sponsor this woman. You know what I'm saying?
I already look
That's
good in the
beautiful.
LV.
Bro, that's
You know
beautiful.
how awesome it would be to see the mitt with the LV on it?
Oh,
That
yeah.
would be awesome.
Oh yeah.
What?
I mean, there's so much that can be done.
Right.
There's so much that hasn't been done.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't wait. You know what I mean? There's so much fun
It's
to be
interesting you
had.
brought that up. I had never noticed it, but you're right.
Yeah.
It's like...
Connor had to make his own whiskey. Dustin had to
Yeah,
make a
think
hot
about it.
sauce.
Exactly.
But that doesn't make sense,
No.
right? Because
No.
especially like sports performance things,
Right.
why isn't that?
The
We
fact
are
that-
superior.
Right.
Well,
That's
you
a
know what I
very
mean? There's no reason why, and the obsession with MMA, at least internationally, right,
For sure.
exists.
Absolutely.
The money is
and it's
there.
become very
Yeah.
much more intense since the pandemic.
And you
Yes.
can see
Yes.
that when they do UFC cards in Brazil and Argentina and different places because obviously they're
'cause it's chaos.
It's chaos, but they obviously they cater. They put their main card as you know people from that country, and it goes
Nuts.
crazy.
yeah,
Nuts.
fighting at home.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it sells. I mean, it sells very well in Europe. It sells very well in Asia, South America.
It's got a little bit of like that Olympic aspect where you're not really representing your country, but you can.
Right.
Because
Right.
you don't, like I said,
It's
it's not
just the
really a
packaging.
team. Exactly. So, for example, let's take PFL. The way that they package and brand and produce their production is so different than UFC.
So different.
There's no intensity. There's no feeling of anxiety, right? Where there's constantly like, someone's gonna die.
Yeah.
No, that production is actually like these are just skilled individuals working on like
Right.
it's described and feels differently. So I feel like this world is barely even been cracked, and I want to be part of the overflow
Right.
when it happens.
And especially, it's funny you say that about BFL. They have such a different system with
They
their
do,
with their
completely.
tournament bracket.
Yes.
You know, they're already telling you this person's gonna fight again.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
so fun, so
Right,
fun.
right. Whereas UFC, it's like you're gonna die. You know?
Yeah. Every fight is a Super Bowl, which is
Right. Mm.
so strenuous, right? And it's emotionally strenuous, physically strenuous, and
It's
even
very
for
hard
the
to
fan.
maintain that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's hard for the fan to maintain fandom, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're gonna take an L,
Right.
right? I mean, LeBron James lost how many finals?
Right.
Okay, he's still the goddamn best. I don't care what anybody says. He's my favorite player forever. Okay, because it's been LeBron James versus the league, right?
yeah.
For the longest time. So I just feel like there's so much potential. If I look at those athletes, that's really what I want to kind of embody. And there's no one in MMA like that yet.
No one.
Even Conor McGregor. I mean, he's beyond that.
definitely
He's
the
a Justin
closest.
Bieber.
He's definitely the
But he's almost like
closest,
something
but-
different though. Because he's like
Yeah,
a
it's
Justin
a different
Bieber.
avenue.
Right.
Yeah.
The closest we've had was Sergio Pettis on the cover of the Wheaties box.
Yes, exactly. That's what I mean. Where it's like branded into America. It hasn't happened yet for MMA.
Right.
And that was because of votes. It wasn't because he got it was 5 different athletes, and then Sergio Pettis won,
right.
and then they put him.
It wasn't a choice they made.
And then it sucked because while his face was on the cover of Wheaties is when he went on his losing streak, which sucked.
Yeah.
But
Wheaties, bro.
Right, Wheaties.
so-
That's Wheaties.
There's a lot too that can still happen.
Exactly. And that's a beautiful 5-year plan right there. Something to aspire for. Ladies and gentlemen, Every Thursday at midnight, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? You go on Spotify, you go on Apple Podcasts, you go on Deezer, you go on
iHeartRadio.
You gotta love it. You know what I'm saying? But more than anything, you know what I'm saying? You go on YouTube. You see all that good stuff on the screen. Hit that subscribe. You know
What's
what I'm
up,
saying?
Papi?
There you go. You know what I'm saying? Every Thursday at midnight, you get a brand new guest, a brand new story. And I guarantee you it's not gonna be the last time that you see Chrissy drop on by the studio.
not.
You know what I'm saying? Can't wait for the next one. We got to have her come through before her next fight or after her next fight, you know, whatever the case. And we'll talk about all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying?
I know this has been a little bit in the making, just because of work and everything. But I was a little nervous because I just felt at first like potentially I didn't really have much to say. You know, it was my first introduction as myself to the world a little bit. But I definitely feel like I'll be back, but I definitely gonna have something to say the next time I come, I promise.
Hey.
So whether it's the belt on the table or whatnot.
Oh, gotta
And
love
that
it.
would be badass.
Oh, that would be badass. Get that beautiful zoom in on that belt. You know
it'll
what
be
I'm
heavy
saying?
in the room. It'll be heavy in the room.
Hey,
Hell yeah.
God,
I like
man.
that.
And Tam France would approve. You know what I'm saying? He was talking to me about accessories and all that good stuff. That's a master class on fashion. Yes.
One last thing, I want to give a shout out to my team in general. You guys are all killing it. But I want to give a shout out to Claudia Diaz, and she's going to be on Combat Global on August 13th.
Yes.
She is a Thailand, Tiger Muay Thai sponsored
Tiger
fighter.
Muay Thai, yes.
30 plus kickboxing matches, about 3 or 4 MMA fights. She's a killer.
Yeah.
She's one of my main training partners, friend.
Yeah.
Love her. Go watch her. She's
Please
gonna
do
kill
watch her.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
yes. She is representing Spain and Argentina, if I am not
Yes.
mistaken.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So please tune in. You see all that good stuff on the screen as well. A fellow MMA Masters compatriot.
Teammate, yeah.
Yes, that's beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, every Thursday at midnight, you know what it is. Holla.
And it don't matter what the world thinks. You can say how you feel on midnight in Miami. When you can push it to the limit, it gets real.